I just thought I'd craft a bit. I haven't done this in a while, so I thought I'd just grab a few things, see what happens. Let's see if we can use some of these things. So, hi and welcome, and watch me create. Thanks for coming along and enjoy the ride. See how we go. Alright, that's dry. Just want to add some collage, just some text, just for some background. gesso on it. Okay, that's all dry. I'm thinking some stenciling, I think. Some background. Just some light paste. Alright, so this is dry. So I'll give you just got a drying rack, you know, like for when you bake. And you got to take out your cookies and dry them. So it's a drying rack. It's nice for artwork to dry on. Keeps it off the table. Should have used that earlier. That's okay. I was thinking of putting some clear gesso just to make sure that all this stenciling grabs the colour later on. So. Okay, back, and the clear gesso is dry, nice, lacking texture, beautiful, I like already. What I was thinking is to put some crackle, good old crackle. I got Distress crackle paint. That's the only good one I'm liking at the moment. It's my last bottle because I've been using it too much. It's never too much, right? Okay. Okay, back again, and the crackle is dry. I let it sit for about half an hour and came back to it and it already started crackling. So I just grabbed the heat tool and gently put heat on top to get rest of the crackle going, and then I'll let it be and for maybe 20 minutes just for the heat to dissipate, and the crackle is done. Let's see, can you see? Nice, gentle. Very cool crackle. Just turn it on the other side. Pretty good. What I like to do now is give it a coat of clear gesso again. Very light because I don't want to clog up the crackles. I just want it to take some colour, so just gently go over the whole thing. That's what I'll do. Okay, I'm back. It's all dry. Just so it's dry. What I like to do is just throw some light colour so it settles in the cracks in between all the textures. Just a light colour, nothing too dark. Okay, that's dry. It's come up really nice. I'm even tempted to leave it like that. That's cool. I'm happy with that. Yeah, I think some sort of composition or something. See how we go. I've got some die cuts here. I like to use the gears. Thinking corners. A couple of corners. Okay, that's dry. It's only a thin layer, so it doesn't take much to dry it with heat gun or hairdryer, whatever. I'll glue on this bit up here. Got some more get some clear gesso on those so it takes colour. Okay. Yes, I know I'm recording this way, but I'm working this way. It's hard to put canvas like this, so hopefully it's like that. So you're working top to down, you sort of got a corner, center, and going to the other corner. What I like to do now, it's dry, I added clear gesso to the two ends. Just put some of the colour on like we did with the background. Let me move some of this away. A bit of water. Use this burnt sienna. Okay. I redone it. I don't know how strong, it could be darker. Just spray it with water. And if it runs over the whole thing, it's okay too. Dry. Had to help it with vacuum. How did that get in my head? With hairdryer. I like the look. I won't put any more colour. I want to seal it. I don't know if I should put some gesso or Mod Podge. Just put Mod Podge on it and seal the colour. playing around with composition. The Mod Podge is dry, looking good. Just playing with some bird netting. Hi, I'm back. This is next day and this is what I have so far. As you can see, I've made up my composition and glued it all down and left it overnight to dry, and everything is glued. Now the last thing that I talked about is to find maybe some words to go with this, and that's what I have. I found these two, imagine and explore. I'm thinking to have them in the corners like this. One down here and the other one up here, like that. These are chipboards that come from Dusty Attic, and they're called Blueprint Explore and Blueprint Imagine. They've been sitting in my drawer forever, so I thought, yes, I will use them. I think it's a perfect fit. Fills up the space up here and also down at the bottom. So next stage is, I think what I'll do, paint these in white gesso and glue them down. These are dry, the words, beautiful. Now thinking to give the whole thing some clear gesso. Hi again. Alright, this is all dry from the clear gesso that I applied to the whole surface. So now I'm ready for some colour. I'll use the same colours as I did for the background, which is the Peonese grey. You add water to it, it becomes this beautiful blue. Really gorgeous. And also burnt sienna. And this is one of liquid acrylics. I'll put it in a description box. I just put some in a bottle and added some water to water it down. So I'll start with this. Hey, welcome back. It's like been ages. This is all dry from that last step. I think I left it for about a week. Did other projects instead, but this is all dry. I like to add more darker colour to it and more colours to the butterflies. So we'll play with the same colour palette, the burnt sienna. And I'd like to add some tiger orange to the butterflies, maybe background. There's also burnt umber, which is a Montmartre one, which is a lot darker. So let's do that. I'm back. Don't even guess how long it's been. Have you counted how many times I've said I'm back? Well, life. It's all good. Alright, so we've done another layer to darken most of this up. I'm pretty pleased with it. I've lost the momentum thought of it, but it's looking good to me. What I like to do next is bring in some highlights with some of this old white matte wax, just to highlight a few textures, and then we'll let it dry, and then we'll see what we'll do next. Okay. welcome back. The last thing we did was add white wax, old white matte wax to highlight some areas. I've left that overnight and that's good. It's dry, I hope. Now I like to do this next technique, which is to give it more shadows in the recessed areas, so everything pops, background stays light, and bring out the shadows in the background. Now I've recently come across the home decor wax, and it's a technique where you apply the clear wax all over first, let it dry for a couple of hours, and then apply the antique wax, which is a dark colour. You can do it all over and then wipe off with a wet wipe or baby wipe the areas that you want highlighted, and then the dark wax will stay in the recess. So, and this technique can also be applied to home decor, and I thought, wow, that looks really good, and I thought I'd try it and apply it on my projects. I've done a few samples already and other projects, and it looks really good, and I thought I'd try something a little bit larger, so I'll see how I go. I like the technique. It's sort of like a vintage look, maybe, if you want to call it that. I like the idea of it. So now I've got to apply the clear wax, and it also protects, so I'm going to apply it all over. I'm using the same brush for it, clear wax. You can use any brush that will go into places. So let's do that. To go, and it's ready to dry. So I'll let that dry either a couple of hours or overnight. I usually like overnight, give it a good chance to dry up, and then when it's dry we can do the antique wax. See if we can give it some shadows and more darkness to bring out everything. It's good, I'm happy. Let me know if you like this. What do you think of the clear wax? Will it be useful for you? Something to try out. Alright. Transparent clear wax. There you go. Use over folk art home decor chalk to seal and protect. So you can use this clear wax to seal your projects. So if you're using chalk, it's from the same company, which is permanent as well. Chalk paint, that's matte acrylic paint. If you use those colours, then you can use this clear wax to seal it. So I'm sure you can seal your projects with this as well. You can also use on raw wood. It's water-based, non-toxic, indoor use only. Directions: use brush or clean lint-free cloth to apply a thin layer of wax to project. So it's just a thin layer, working wax into the surface. So circular motion, working it into the surface let dry overnight. Oh, there you go. Let dry overnight, then buff to desired sheen with a clean soft cloth. I don't usually do it. I don't like the sheen look, so I just leave it as it is. So I'll leave it to dry overnight. Keep waxed surfaces free of moisture and heavy use for 7 days. Clean up while wet with soap and water. There you go. And if you wish to see a tutorial with this technique of the clear wax and antique wax, I'll put a link in the description box to Plaid, and you can check out how they use it on furniture pieces and so forth. So I'll leave this to dry overnight and come back to it and do that antique wax. Thanks for watching. See you soon. Hi, welcome back. Sorry. Last step we did was putting clear wax all over this project to make a base for the antique wax to go onto. So that's all drying. It's been a few days. I've got my baby wipes because we're going to be wiping it on and then wiping it off. A few of those out. Any wet wipe, you can even have a wet rag. So we've applied this clear wax. Now we've got to apply this antique wax to create more shadows and go in the recesses to give it a darker look, bring out some features, that sort of thing. So let's start just using one of these brushes. Make sure you have a brush that goes into the recessed areas because we'll be covering most of the area. And we need to give it a stir. Just use one of these long skewers, pretty handy. It will dry up and be stiff. If you want a new brush for this, then you can grab one. Alright, now I'll do this first. So I'll just grab some wax and then just brush it on. Is that shaking? Don't be scared. Just get it into each recess. You can even dab it or swirl it. And then what we're going to do is grab a wet wipe and wipe off. And what you want to do is leave the wax in the recess area. So just lightly brush off the top. See how it's coming off? Just lightly. Don't go pressing too hard because you want to leave the wax in the dips, in the recessed area. If you want to wipe off more, you can. So it's up to you what look you're going for. Now I am changing over the wet wipe, that way it takes off more, because if you don't swap it for a clean area, you'll just put more of the wax instead of taking it away. So again, it's the look that you're going for. And once it dries and you feel something is not standing out, or you want it a bit more on the focal point, you can use a white wax perhaps and go over the details, and it will bring out the details that you want. Here we go. Alright. If you want to take off more, put more pressure on, and wipe off more. So you can take your time with this. And because you're only wiping off the top, that wax will stay in the crevices. Here we go. Not bad. Let me lift that up. See how it's gone darker compared to this one here? It's more darker. Top details are revealed, and the darker wax stays in the recess. Yeah, not bad. Alright, let's do this one. I like it. Alright, so I'll leave it at that. Save these, please. They'll dry, so you can still use that. Use it to wipe up other stuff, bring in colours. Then once they dry, you'll have good backgrounds, you know, as tissues. Put them on as a background, and there's your colour. Especially if you want sort of vintage look. It looks good. See how each one is different. See? Let these dry off and then stash them. Very good, people. I like it. Hope you like it. And when we come back next time after drying, I'll bring in some highlights to really make these pop. Whatever you want to call it. I like the dark look. If you don't like the dark look, take more off and just leave it in the recess areas. But I like it. What do you think? You like it? Will you try it? Let me know in the comments. Hit the like button if you want to see more videos from me or similar in a different fashion. Okay, I'll leave it at that, let it dry and come back. Bye. Hi and welcome back. It's been a while, and this has dried, and the last stage that we did was the antique wax to darken the recessed areas and to bring out some highlights. Now this is fully dry, and well, I'm not too happy with it, but I like to bring back the details, and to do that I can use some wax to bring those details up. I think it's a bit too dark for me, so I'll be using some waxes to bring in some highlights. It looks good when it's close up. You can see some of those colours that I used, but as it dried it darkened up a little bit. It's a bit too dark for me, so I'll go in with some waxes, see if we can bring out some of those details.